call the meeting to order. It's 7:45.
Wait a minute, he's gonna get going here.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, Anthony.
All set.
So it is February 13th. We will call the meeting to order at 7:45 p.m. We have 4 members in attendance. And let's see. We do not have any minutes from the last meeting. We do have public input. So do we want to go right into public input?
A special guest, absolutely.
I'm a guess.
Kevin Lynch, Town of Litchfield, building official. I'm here tonight to ask about the heating system and some ideas. I just want to make sure you understand that the heating system there was rebuilt. Both of those heating units were completely rebuilt on the inside.
What year, Kevin, were they rebuilt? I can't remember.
They were built about 3.5 years ago, four years ago. But we had one that we rebuilt it. The other one went a little longer. We rebuilt that within 18 months. The biggest thing we did down there was the controls. The old controls were the old mechanisms inside that panel, but we rewired all those controls so the system doesn't go on and off as much. It runs. We put relays back here and put more relays there, and it runs a lot better. It's old. I will not deny that. It's a train system. It's a great unit, okay, for what it's used for, and that's great because you can't put nothing on the roof. You really can't hang anything from the rafters because there's no rafters. They're bow truss and they're minimal loads. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was the best way to do it, was put this thing similar to a rooftop, but on the ground. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's just for the heat. There's been some talk about air conditioning. I have a company now who has looked into it before. They're still looking into it. I called them 2.5 weeks ago and said, this is what I'd like to do for the meeting. But you remember 2 weeks ago, and in the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of cold air. His company's been out straight, so he's been behind because this is something he's just filling in to do it. But, nothing. I didn't ask him to get the numbers or anything like that because that's a separate bidding process. But Affiliated's been taking care of all the units I have here, and they all need to do commercial. They don't do residential, which makes sense because of what I'm dealing with.
Oh, so it's Affiliated that's servicing the
Yeah.
unit, okay.
They do I got them doing the whole town. I've had them for years. They offer them in town. The owners live here. So I'm trying to stay, they work out of the Nashua, but there's 4 or 5 of the workers are all here.
Right.
So I'm just, it's something we try to do is make everybody work. And the heating system itself, actually works good with the 3 blower units you got up there, the fans. But it's time, okay? And I'm looking at what we're going to do. The best method that I know of right now is similar, the same as what we got there now. We'll get 25 years. Thing is, what's going to happen to the building in 20 years or 10 years or 15 years? Okay? Until that is to you guys decide how you want to do the building. Mm-hmm. And there's more that I could talk about the building if you all want to go on a nature hike underneath it.
You wouldn't get me underneath there if you paid me.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll bring you all. All that. It's
One
great
day
for
it
short.
decides to
You,
crumble
Colleen,
down.
you and I are short. We'll be able to do it. But we will still be on our bellies. I want to let you know.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid it would fall down on us, Kevin.
It's nothing but sand.
I'd be afraid somebody would close the door and just say, oh, hey.
Yeah.
As long as you don't move the sink that I got at the bottom of the hatch, you can get up. It's you and I. We're at the right height. Okay? But I want to put something together for you guys for the existing system in case things go off a little bit, or look at what we can do to upgrade the existing system, bring it up in there. We can't really change the ductwork much because I really don't want to play with that inside.
No.
Because the inside is actually functional. It's taken a lot of beating, okay, from basketballs, softballs, and hardballs. Okay, it's done well. The ductwork is still doing good. So,
Yeah.
the only thing that takes a beating is the cages around the fans. They just don't hold up
I
well.
don't understand how some balls get inside those cages. That's a whole nother story, but whatever.
That's half the battle. So what we're trying to do, Frank has asked me to come in, the chief, to at least talk to you about some ideas and get some perspective. That's basically what I'm trying to do. I want to put something together, and I'm going to look at tonnage for air in the future with the unit itself, but maybe not connecting it in, because really it's not a good insulated building for air itself. One of the things that building needs, in my professional opinion, is some natural ventilation in the summertime, like an house. There used to be windows around it, all the way around, and they used to have to use the hook to open them, but they had a cage on both sides because of the kids throwing rocks at the window from the outside, and the kids throwing balls at from the inside at it. So we had a cage in there at one time. That I do recall, 'cause the glass in that
And they
building.
just put
And they
cinder
had
blocks or
ventilation.
something?
What?
They sealed it back up with cinder blocks? Is
Yeah,
that-
and you cut the blocks out, you can put it back in, and we can do that, okay? I'm gonna look at that too as a added cost for the future on the building, to look at the long-time effects. And maybe that will be the thing, but Kurt has asked me, and with the selectmen, has asked if we come in and just do something at looking at what we can do, because I had that one call on the weekend that I went out there and caused some commotion, but it was done in 2 seconds, it was taken care of.
I mean, I don't expect to get this done tomorrow in terms of like replacing the heat, but I would love to know what a number's gonna be, so if we do look at like, all right, maybe next year or 2 years down the road, we'll have an idea as to where we're gonna need to be financially to
And-
replace the heat.
That's what I'm gonna try to get out of these folks, because they did it to me last time. Matter of fact, they can't find their stuff they sent to me, and I can't find the stuff they did send to me. So we're both in the
Has the
same boat.
selectmen, Kurt, discussed how long they intend to keep this building?
It hasn't been on the, we haven't, we've never really talked about it. And I know where you're going with this, because you wanna,
Well, we mentioned it at the last meeting, it's like.
I know, you
why-
hate to
why-
invest any money in it.
Yes, why keep putting, when we could hopefully put our resources to something else? And if we have funds available,
Yeah.
not that it hasn't served us well for the 100 years it's been here, I'm kidding, but maybe it's time to,
Well, you know, and I mean, truthfully, if we
Early
could,
60s, 50s.
if we could get like a Morton building or a Space building,
Well,
that's twice the
I
size
think
and
we
that
all
same
even
footprint.
talked about just a big metal, one of those metal framed
Yeah.
units.
Never lasts
Yeah.
as long as the concrete block when you got there, but I just want to say that in a nice way, okay? That building you got, the roof and the walls are good. The floor, we all know it's a basketball floor. It has some issues along the edges, because you got wood and concrete touching at the same time, you got some soft spots. Town put a lot of effort putting pillars underneath that thing when they took over that building and fixed it up. There's a lot of piers underneath that building, new ones, all over the place. They're about 6 feet apart, 8 feet apart. So there's been a lot of effort. But on the other hand, if the floor is not good, nothing says you can't cut the floor out, fill it back in, and do something else on top of it with a gypcrete with a rubber floor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if
Still
there's
get
a,
the-
there's a more cost-effective alternative out there, Kevin, why not?
I'm just bringing,
Explore it.
Yeah, build a new facility.
I'm just
that's-
bringing you the
Well,
whole
something that could
thing.
house maybe 2 courts,
Right.
or multiple
I understand,
activities.
okay?
I think it always comes back to when we start talking about new facilities and housing it. You're always gonna come back to, you need the money.
Of
Priorities.
course,
I mean,
oh,
and that's,
but-
and honestly, a lot of times we have, not we in terms of us, but we, the town, have problems coming up with money for things that are long-term investments.
Right,
And
but
we
we
use a
know that
shot.
we are getting impact fees generated by the new housing,
Yeah,
that's coming.
but those 41 houses aren't gonna generate enough to build us a new building, obviously.
Well,
That's
but I'm
the-
not talking about something extravagant either,
Yeah,
but something, I'm just saying, if we're looking, I don't even know what the quote could even be.
Can I just say to you, if you're gonna look at impact fees as the future revenue for the rec department, it's gonna fall away. We're not gonna get into large buildings anymore or any large developments. We're pretty well built out on homes, unless we start going into the farmlands.
we have a build out of probably 300 houses at this point, and 41 would be taken away from that, so our projected build out right now is about 170 at this point.
Right, and I wouldn't consider going to another place, Kevin, it would probably be the same
No,
venue.
Colleen, I think you guys are thinking You're thinking the way you should be thinking, okay? I look at what's there and try to keep what's going on.
Yep.
You're looking at saying what's there and saying, well, why put more money here and we can do this? That's the balance, and
if
that's the
it's feasible.
balance we have to find. And that's it. But I'm gonna go back to the heating system, 'cause I'm not gonna talk about the future. That's another whole thing.
Yep.
I'll be more than happy to sit down as a taxpayer and as a building official, any ideas or thoughts. I got no problems.
But we just need a number at some point, you know,
I'll take
just
care of
to,
that for
just so
you.
we can,
And that number's going to include heat and AC.
We can do it both
you know, do,
ways.
do two different numbers, obviously.
Yeah,
and
I
then a
can't put,
combination.
the AC is gonna be in that building, is just
Not good, okay.
not good. The way the
Not
insulation is.
efficient.
Huh?
Not efficient.
Not
That's basically
efficient
what
at
we're
all.
saying,
It's
yeah.
terrible.
So why wouldn't we, I mean, like you said, if we could come up with a way to ventilate the roof, during the
Other
summertime.
ways of exhausting the heat out of the building is something we should look into.
Remember the whole house fans they used to have back in the seventies and eighties that you put at the top of the stairs, and it almost was like air conditioning, where you could just pull all that air out of the house, and same thing with this building.
There's a lot of things with the backstage area, we could do something there with an exhauster coming out of that we can winterize in the winter time, prevent it, for heat loss. And another thing too, is somebody's been playing with your back stairs. I'm gonna try to put a Band-Aid on there next couple of weeks. The
Yeah, it's like a-
column got kicked out.
Oh, really?
like a-
On the porch? I've
Yeah,
never been back there.
I closed off the back stairs going up.
Again, the flooding back there is insane.
The whole
Anyway.
parking lot was water. Sunday morning,
Everything.
my parents were all, the parents that, come to baseball were
Mm-hmm.
all saying, it's just like, do you guys ever ice melt around here,
Yeah,
or,
they do.
salt or sand?
The rain you've had,
I know.
the freezing and everything else, and that parking lot is frozen. We got approximately 2 feet of frost in the ground right now because of the cold
Yeah, the
weather.
parking lots, yeah.
And we've already had the water freeze to that building once. The water main going in froze. It's 8 inch in the middle of the parking lot.
It's amazing.
Other little things.
There's so
we
many
find.
things to do.
All right, so
Hey,
you're
guys,
on it.
I'll get something for you guys a couple weeks, okay?
Thank you.
I should have something by that, because Nate's working on it right now. But things are starting to warm, he's feeling better.
That's good. It's gonna be 60 on Thursday.
I made 3 phone calls today for the elderly people in town, this condo associations. All 3 of them, they're all in Myrtle Beach.
Bastards. All right, thanks, Kevin.
Thanks,
you,
Kevin.
Kevin.
Hey, guys, nice seeing you.
See you
Bye.
soon.
Behave.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Do we have anything else?
So do you have anything else to add to that, Kurt? Just
No,
want- So
no,
this
I
is
mean-
something that the fire chief has asked us to explore?
We're just looking at it from a facility point of view, and I mean, it is still one of our facilities, whether it's a good investment or a bad investment, it is something we want to maintain for the time being. And I'd rather be proactive and plan and maybe budget for heat replacement. And if a new building does come along in the meantime, then obviously that will be taken off the table. But I really feel like with some of the incidents we've had, and Kevin's kind of alluded to the fact that some of the controls are starting to, the devices are getting older and stuff. I really just I want to know what we're going to get ourselves into.
No, it makes sense. You gotta look ahead. You know, what I mean, we don't. Again, if the heating system's been there 25 years, so how much borrowed time have we been on at this point already?
Well, like you said, they rebuilt it
Right.
3.5 years ago,
So,
4 years ago.
I mean, and it may not. I mean, again, getting it priced with AC is just responsible to do. But I mean, as he said, I mean, there's no real insulation in there. So,
No, I mean, but that's a secondary concern.
Right.
I mean, but
Oh, I
we're
know.
just,
I meant with if you're pumping AC in there,
No.
and that's just going out the thing, we're just wasting money pumping AC in.
the thing's just a big tin can, so I mean, there's no
Oh, yeah.
insulation to it. But I mean, the heat does work hard during the winter, and if there's a better
Mm-hmm.
way of, and again, I don't want to be reactive over this. I don't want to have to shut down for a month and have everything freeze up because the heat goes. I want to catch it right before it goes and maybe replace it, in a year or two or whatever. And it's just the way I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
But that's it.
So the next item you wanted to discuss is the boat landing?
Yeah, and that's kind of, last night we had a meeting with the subcommittee and Joan McGibbon over the river access, and they want to put the onus of maintaining it on the rec commission. So once it's built, and apparently, and I wasn't made aware of this, that John Bryant committed saying that the rec commission would assume liability and responsibility for upkeep on that. Chances are it's going to get built this year. It's not in our budget. I don't know what they're going to come in at for, taking care of the sides of the road and around the rocks and around the fence posts, and there's going to be grass to maintain, trash to pick up. Of course, I'm looking at it, the worst case scenario, and it's supposed to be a carry in, carry out, but I don't really believe that that's always going to happen.
Right, because right now the rec commission does not handle trash.
Yeah.
So,
But, these are the things that John put us in a position now where we've got to start looking, he told the Conservation Commission that we were going to assume this responsibility, and I just want to make sure that whatever we do, we make sure that we've got it in our budget, we know how much it's going to be to maintain, and then we move forward from there. And I don't know how long I don't know how much TLC will charge us to maintain, 700 feet of road, or whatever it ends up being, and the parking area, and taking care of the grass around
now,
the signs.
this was written down somewhere, this was a verbal agreement?
We were just talking about it last night, and yeah, it's never been, to my knowledge, and John Brunel says you guys talked about it, but I didn't think river access was like a subject less than a year ago, more than a year ago, I should say. But John Brunel seems to remember that John Bryant talked to you guys about it. You guys kind of came in this agreement that Recreation was going to assume responsibility of
No,
the park.
John, I remember John saying that. I remember John saying that it was, it's the idea that, I don't know, let me take a half step back. He was talking about if it's river access and that ability's in it, then it would fall to the rec commission to
I thought it was just
It'd be
getting a gate.
under,
That's
well,
all I
it'd
thought we
be
were talking
under
about,
the
getting
rec
a gate.
commission. Because then he also talked about going to the school and saying, developing a program, there's some program with boat training or something.
What's that called? There's
I can't remember off the top of my head.
what's that called? They do it on the Charles River. Oh my God, what the heck? Whatever. I know what you're talking about.
But he was talking about that too. But he said that, I remember him specifically saying that if this were to go through, that maintenance of it would now become, not maintenance, but upkeep of it would be a rec commission thing, because it falls under parks and everything else. It wouldn't fall under conservation land or anymore, or anything like that. It would definitely have to be under us as a committee.
Are there other conservation lands that we maintain responsibility for?
Well, yeah, that's part two of this
I
conversation.
didn't think, yeah, I think we did.
Morse Falls and Parker Park are also supposed to be under our watch. Parker Park is falling apart in my mind. I don't know if you guys have been down there.
Which one's that?
Parker Park is.
It's the one right across from, almost across from GMS. Park in the dirt lot. There's a little sign right there. Probably might fit like 10 cars in the parking lot. And then you go down and walk along the stream.
See, I always thought that was the conservation.
Well, conservation says it's us. So again, these
Because
are,
who owns the one then up by St.
well,
Francis?
what the town does. The town owns everything, but
Well, who maintains it? Who owns
we are supposed to maintain that.
the rec commission?
Yes.
So we need to get a list of what we even maintain.
Well, that's the problem, and these are the things that, I learned last night, and Joan, who was in charge of, well, not in charge of, but she's with the Conservation Commission, and they oversee these properties, but we're supposed to maintain them. And here I am, like, I'm at the meeting last night, and I'm like, well, we didn't budget for it this year, and I was told by Brunel, well, don't worry about it, it's not gonna be a big number. How do you know? I mean, how does anybody know what the number is yet, And that's why I think, again, just like the heat, we need to look at these properties and say, all right, what's gonna need to be done? I know
I think we need a
Parker,
list of properties that we're supposed to maintain, because,
well, Parker Park and Morse Falls pretty much seemingly take care of themselves. I think Parker Park has just gotten worse and worse and worse over the years, but it has nothing to do with anything that we can control, or what it is. Have you been down there?
It's Parker Park, yeah.
Yeah, so what happens is you get these footpaths like along the stream, and every year the stream takes away a little bit more of, and in some cases you actually have to go kind of around because you might fall into the stream because the the path is now, I've been going there for over 10 years, and the path is now pretty much disappearing. But that's not something that we can control. But the footbridges, like somebody did a Eagle Scout project, and they put footbridges over like the swampy areas. We have floods, and flood waters come through, and they flip the bridges into the woods, and nobody fixes them. So, so there's little things that, you know, if we're gonna maintain them, I mean, it should be something that,
Be on our budget, yes.
yeah. But yeah, so this new, the river access is gonna be put on us. So,
Do we have an idea when it's opening or anything happening?
they told us that they wanna break ground, March. So it's probably as soon as the frost goes, they're gonna,
So someone's going in there, putting gravel down or whatever it is to
Yep.
do a road?
in kind, we have a company that will do this work in kind for us, in town, big company. They do lots of work like that.
I think they have 3 letters.
But anyway, yeah, so they're gonna break ground, you know, in March. And again, this is supposed to come back to the select board and confirm different things, but these are the things that I wanted to present to you guys and make sure that we're all, you know, aware that we might
Right.
have
We
another.
were still, because the last we had really had for an update was that it was still
I thought it was still being discussed by the
a
families.
debating
Yeah,
of
have that-
whether it was gonna happen or not happen, and who was possibly paying for whatever, and
Yeah,
the
well,
initial costs, not even the maintenance, just the initial stuff.
Has it
we
been?
encumbered $5,000 with rec, and they're gonna use that to, the plan has changed, I can pass this around, I don't know if you guys remember the original plan, but I have one copy.
So this has gone through the families that were opposed. Are they on board? Are they still in opposition? That was the last,
This is a go.
this is a go, okay.
Yeah. So if you notice, they're not doing the rocks, they're not doing the trees, they've gone from a PVC fence now to a wooden split rail fence.
So can you look at that $5,000 of rec money was encumbered?
Yeah, we had $5,000 left over at the end of the year, so we encumbered that to use in this project, which will probably pay for the fencing, but then again, last night, they said they might not do fence because it's too expensive, so,
So a split rail fence running along the,
along the, field line,
okay, 400 feet.
Yeah.
And the path to river.
300 to 500.
That's just a
350.
path. That's just gonna be,
It's a 4-foot wide path, they're
Yeah.
gonna grade down with gravel.
wow. Like 800 feet from the road, the whole thing.
Yeah, and there is gonna be a gate, at the road.
Right, that's what I knew we were talking about, incurring the cost,
Yeah.
getting that.
Oh yeah, so this is a lot different, because now the parking lot isn't up by the road anymore.
No, they took it, well, they actually, they did plan on making a road. And
Right.
Yeah.
But the parking lot was gonna be further down.
That's what I thought, it was
And
gonna be
that-
down.
Oh, further
close to the
down?
river.
Yeah, if you see that blue line.
You gotta lug
Yeah.
your boat
500
400 feet.
Yeah, but if you see that blue line that's to the,
Well, no, from what I had thought, I thought it was going to be near the road, and then you drive it down, drop the boat off, then come back and park.
no, yeah, that would make sense. I'd like that idea with a, kinda like at, Sawmill.
Yeah,
That's a brilliant idea.
well, you know.
But now you can't, it's only 4 foot wide,
Yeah.
so it's just a walking trail.
Well, yeah, but I mean, no, but if we reverse the whole plan and we just made like where the parking lot is just a quick turnaround like they have at Sawmill, and we put the parking area up by the road.
Because I mean, and maybe this is, I mean, again, I haven't been on top of this whole time, but I thought it was going to be closer to the road, and therefore that could be monitored just by driving by it, and therefore, you know, in the winter it would be basically, I mean, not in the winter, but like, you wouldn't have to, I don't know.
Well, they're
That's
not gonna, there's a closing date and an opening date, so they're gonna,
Right.
you know, October 1st or whatever day it is, I can't remember, I think it was somewhere around there, they're gonna lock the gate and they'll be locked all winter long. So we don't have to worry about plowing it, we won't have to worry about, well, I think they might still have to plow it because the fire department might want access down there if they have to.
How do you plow it if it's only gravel?
Yeah, exactly. I know, it's not easy.
I mean, you're just asking to have to redo that road every year then.
Yeah, cause you're gonna bunch it up.
Oh, yeah. And I thought the fence they needed to keep in because a fence of some sort, because I thought that was part of the agreement of,
Separate themselves.
right.
Yeah, well, again, things change. This is the latest and greatest, and, I just figured I'd share it with you guys,
And Kurt, what was the final numbers, did you say? 8,500, is that, what did I hear?
well, they haven't really thrown any numbers at us yet, they were just giving us the designs.
Okay, so,
But we have, you know, the rec commission has encumbered 5,000 for
oh,
it.
that's okay.
I mean, I don't even know if we really, I mean, again, the 5,000 was decided by John. I don't know if we ever talked about it here. I don't think we ever voted on it, but that's, the 5,000 will be available to work on that outside of the in-kind work that's being done, so. So that's that. Is there anything else?
So, going through the email recently, is some sort of comprehensive or New Hampshire statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan survey. And Troy asked us to please respond to the survey. Is that just one member from the rec commission? Do we know if that's
I haven't
each
done
member
it.
from the rec commission?
I keep deleting it every time I get it, to be honest with you. but-
Okay, so I didn't know if it should it be John? I mean, who? I haven't done the survey. I wanted to ask and find out whose response. I mean,
It has
this
some
is coming
good-
from our administrator here in town,
Yeah.
asking us to respond to it. So
But it asks like a question that I just can't answer. One of the first 4 questions, I can't remember which one it is, but it asks for I don't know, I forgot what it was. I can't remember if it's a dollar amount. It was a question I just couldn't answer, so I was just like, well, I didn't. But I don't know if maybe that's a John thing. See if I can find it, because I did just delete it. Yes, today.
so no one's responded to it. No one's taken the survey.
Nope.
I did see an email from John Bryant after our last meeting where he looked for feedback, I guess prior to going to the budget committee on the town, I'm sorry, on the baseball fields. Kurt, did you give that to him at all?
No. Oh, no, I didn't. What? Oh, he wanted like an update on what's
Yeah,
going on with the
just
fields.
before he went.
No, I missed that. I got it too late. I don't think he needs it now, does he?
No, I didn't know if you guys just talked.
Truthfully, on the budget committee, we have 4 members that are pretty involved in knowing what's going on with the baseball fields that are on the budget committee, so I doubt any hard questions would come up from them.
So we don't know, I mean, obviously I'm guessing the budget went forward. Do we know?
Yeah, right now we're I mean, until it gets voted on in
Discussions.
March, yeah.
Let's see.
I can't even find that survey. I must have really deleted it.
Been kind of quiet.
Unfortunately, somebody asked if they could rent the hall for their kid's birthday.
Yeah, I saw. Keith gave the standard response. You can't.
Right.
That one at least has been. We all know that one.
Yeah, I know.
That's one
It should just be a form that we
policy
just like,
we know. Yeah, we
Yeah.
should just post it probably out there. Talon Hall is not for
Cut and
personal
paste it.
use. So I don't know, guys. I know we really do need to discuss roles and responsibilities, and we don't have enough members recently
Right.
to address anything. We don't know if basketball's been contacted. Do you know if basketball's been
Or-
contacted for taking care of the
I do not.
the
Oh,
net?
net.
No, John said he was going to.
Yeah,
So
and I haven't heard.
I haven't heard either.
basketball's not good about answering their town email either. We know that. So remember how
Yeah.
Andy was pulling his hair out trying to get a hold of him?
Well, I think it would have gone to Jason because Jason's been very responsive.
Oh yeah, that's
So
true.
it should have gone to
Yes,
Jason.
but sometimes it doesn't make it to Jason, depending on
Yeah. Yep.
how basketball works. So I can. I'll ask Jason. I'll see if he was.
Last time I asked Jason, he hadn't received it,
He hadn't.
but
so-
that was probably 2 weeks ago. Well, no, we had our last meeting 2 weeks ago, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, it was 3 weeks ago. It's been a long.
Right.
Seems like it's been a long. So when I saw him last, he hadn't received it, but that was probably a couple weeks ago.
The only other thing is we did get softball's insurance.
Yes, Rick sent that in.
Baseball's ready? Do you know?
Probably,
No,
I
no.
don't know. I don't know. I mean, I updated our,
I know baseball, we're gonna need baseball, we're gonna need lacrosse.
trust
those
me,
are probably-
if I'm a week or so late, you
Oh,
know,
I
it's
know.
a,
They're all they're basically the same time.
Right.
I just have to reach out to wrestling at this point. They're the only ones we don't know about.
I recharted, I just gotta go online
Actually,
and see
and
if the bill went, the pay.
Pickleball
check
too,
went
right?
through.
Pickleball needs
too.
insurance too, right?
I don't know when there's
I don't know when it
renewals.
is either, but I'll reach out and ask those two.
When did
Everyone
they-
else is up to date.
When did they come in that time?
So it's-
Was
It was, we're
spring?
talking April, May.
Spring?
Yeah, you mean,
that
And that's when they were breaking away and starting their own,
right, that's when we finally got through the whole,
yep,
you know,
yeah,
separation of,
go back.
you know, organizations and insurances and anything. It wasn't until April and May.
Right.
I mean,
We had a lot of pickleball discussion. Did you have anything, Peter?
Yeah, so let's have a little game plan here for how to move forward for the next meeting. 'Cause
I'm sorry, what was that?
Just make a little game plan for how to move forward with for the next meeting.
Well, ideally, having everybody here would be the.
Yeah, so a couple things. I mean, so we haven't had a number of folks here for a while, not much communication. You know, we're really playing catch as catch can with every issue that comes up, and we're finding about new ones each time. You know, just found we encumbered $5,000, which apparently didn't come through this body, but it was from our budget, and you know, we're responsible for these town properties that we didn't know we were supposed to be doing trail maintenance.
We don't even have minutes, Peter.
Yeah, so
Reflect back to say, oh, what did we discuss?
yeah, what I like to do, me as a head, is like, you know, we're just gonna keep on chasing our tails with this stuff, it seems, unless we kind of build in some structure and have some clear roles, and kind of line up these responsibilities. I mean, we can map these things out, insurance binders, you know, who has them in, when do they do? I mean, there's definitely things we can just, you know, organize here. I think if we step back and say, okay, how are we structured? So for the next meeting, you know, I would like to take some ownership to a couple things here, as far as like getting an agenda out before the meeting. Call for agenda items, here's the draft agenda,
Yep.
put it out there for the public, for all of us, you know. Number two, make sure we have quorum, like we all scramble the day of to see if we have enough people coming. Let's try and lock that up.
Right.
I know stuff comes up, so that's life, but we can at least ask the question, you know, a couple of days out, so I will do that as well. I'll take minutes the next time, and I'd like to post them. I think other bodies post them. I think it's good for us to do that for the public.
No, we used to do an agenda, we used to do the minutes, and then everything, it just seems to go by the wayside. We don't know where certain things are supposed to be done in certain times of the year, that never happens. But I think what you're highlighting is there's no responsibility for any of us. So if we all if we all knew, okay, this is my responsibility,
Yeah,
then we could come to a
Correct.
meeting
right,
and do it.
right.
But there's no,
We don't have a chairman, we haven't had a chairman show up in 6 meetings.
Yeah.
5 or 6 meetings.
well, he was here a few meetings ago.
Was he? Okay.
But officers, I mean, so what are the officer roles? I mean, it
Well,
sounds
the
like
only
we've had
officer I know
change
is,
over time.
it's John the chair, Andy the vice chair, and then, gosh, Sandy was the secretary.
Sandy's
But
not,
Sandy's-
Sandy's an all, I don't even know. is
I don't
Sandy-
even know if Sandy's
I don't
still
even- I don't
on
even think she's
on
an
the
alternate
board.
anymore. I think
So we've
she's
never
not.
had a replacement for secretary.
Yeah.
So we have our chair and our vice chair, and those are the only two
Mhm.
titled positions besides the secretary. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, so officers and bylaws, I think, are the structural pieces I'd love to look at the next meeting to say.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Keith
What
has all of
happens?
those. Keith has, I believe, all the bylaws. He got that
Keith has that? Okay.
from somebody. Because he went through everything. So he knows all the bylaws.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know the bylaws.
Nope.
I
I don't know all the
they're not
bylaws
stated
either.
in the common area, from best I can tell, unless I missed it, but.
No, I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So if Keith has them,
I know whether he actually come in this building and reviewed them, that he may have done that. I don't know if he physically has
Right,
them.
okay.
He may actually come and,
It
Read
should be
them?
online, I mean, you'd think at some point.
I don't know who has them. I just know he definitely has read the bylaws.
So I think maybe we should operate by them, right? If,
What's that?
we should operate by them if they make good sense. Like, for example, like I'm an alternate, so when votes come up, do I need authority to vote? Do I have automatic authority when it's small like this? You know, I don't, those type of questions. So I'd love to actually have us look at the bylaws next time. If I can get an electronic copy from Keith or someone else, then I'll send that out.
I'll email Troy and see if there aren't any exist.
They do exist.
I know, but I don't know if they exist in his office. Maybe they have
Yeah.
them in there.
They exist in the stone. They were carved in.
Yeah, they're etched in stone, exactly.
Remember Monty Python? I bring you the 15 smash. I bring you the 10 commandments.
That was Mel Brooks.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
So the last thing I'd like to say, crack out for the next meeting is just, trying to draft out like charter responsibilities. So a couple things that keep on, like town hall schedule, field schedule.
Well, yeah, you mean just what they are.
Yeah.
Not even people assigned to them.
Oh,
there,
that's
just
what they are. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we used to have Ben who, talking facilities. Now we don't even. Now we just have someone that restocks
toilet paper.
toilet paper. So we don't even have that person anymore that used to be able to go around if there was maintenance of a fence that was broken or taking branches down off of things.
Who empties the trash barrels at Derek?
Inside?
No, outside.
During the off season,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I do the inside
I know
trash
that I-
periodically.
You go to Dare Pond and empty the trash.
The inside trash.
Oh no,
When I'm there.
like outside, because the park
Right.
is used by
Yeah.
moms.
I
And
wouldn't do it.
I have no idea.
I wouldn't touch that outside trash.
No, I learned this is why people keep asking to put trash barrels back down at Innis, and I'm like, not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening, Berkey. I can't do it. Can't do it because I cleaned them out a few times.
I don't even
And I
think
put them in
there's
the back of my truck, and
That was a disaster.
Yeah.
I
So,
baseball trash bags. Everybody in baseball knows Kurt will not do bags because he will vomit. I mean, I
yeah,
just have no
it's,
stomach for it.
it's
I
part of
couldn't
what it
do
is. It's, you know what I mean? You're almost forced into carry in, carry out because of what will randomly go in those trash bags.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
Well,
nasty.
not so randomly.
It's nasty.
So our next meeting is the 27th, right?
Yep.
Is everyone here?
That is
Tentatively good.
February vacation.
It is, yeah.
Whoa,
Right.
that's,
So, yeah, I'll
I
still be
probably
here.
shouldn't
I'll probably still be here too.
I'm a loser. I got no life.
But,
I'll be all right.
All right, so we got the core group here. That was
Yeah,
you're
huh?
committed. So
The regulars.
Seems like
Start.
it seems like
Regulars
it's the
sit
same
down.
form mostly.
No, I mean I know we're all committed to doing this. I mean, good work for the town. I just want it to be as efficient as possible because I don't be the
And it's
news
gotten
member.
so much better. I can't tell you how bad it was.
I got to agree with what he's saying.
We all agree
Will
with
help us
it.
quite a bit. Yeah.
Keith and I sat here and we've said the same thing. And
It's, you know what it comes down to? It really, the first thing, it'll come down to figuring out what exactly we have to do.
Yeah.
And then if everyone
we've been-
if we
we've
all
been wanting
divided,
to know how to take down who's responsible for taking down the tennis nets. We had Ben.
right.
Then we lost Ben. At least we had someone. It's like, okay,
Well, here's the thing. We either, when it becomes things like this, now we're going to have to say either we are going to have to figure out how to do it, or we're going to have to say we have to go back and hire someone again to do all these things.
yeah. Well, those tennis nets have sat up there all year.
Yeah.
So they'll only be able to do that a couple times before they start falling apart due to.
And I got to tell you, those basketball nets that are on the sidewalls at Dara were installed in the worst way possible. They ran boards parallel with the ground, and you really should have ran boards perpendicular up, and then mounted the bracket to it because they never would have pulled out. But you get these, you have two 2x4s, and the whole framework, which is like 12 by 12, is on those two 2x4s, and there's no like if you ran your 2x4s that are mounted to the wall up, it would give so much better strength to pull out. It would never pull off the wall.
Right.
But right now, the way they have them, they've got them across. So that's why
Hey.
that net's failing, is because it's falling off the wall. And there's another one diagonally across from it that's going to be doing the same thing pretty soon. It's starting to. But I don't know who's supposed to be taking care of that.
No, we
Well,
do.
sounds like
Basketball.
basketball. that we got.
we got the answer for that
Got
one.
confirmation
So
on that.
Should I just go in there and take it down, and just then they won't have a net? But then again, they don't have a net now.
No, because John. Well, unless John has responded.
Yeah.
But it was to tell?
I will ask Jason. My guess is John did respond, or Jason would have written back again, because Jason would have written back again if he hadn't heard.
Well, if you had a question,
So-
or, yeah.
But I'll verify.
So I guess now what we need to do is figure out what tasks we have, in the spirit of what you're saying, and then figure out who wants to do what, and then whatever's left we assign, and that's it, right?
Pretty much.
We all have,
It's a good start, yeah.
within rec, we have that thing, and then we gotta get better with agendas. I just forward you something I get every time before a selectmen's meeting.
Alright.
A sample of what we get.
I have no problem, if you want Peter doing the, because I used to do the agenda, I don't mind putting that together if you want, if you're gonna do the minutes.
Yeah, I'll take it back for the next meeting, and then we can
Okay.
go from there. So I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
And do note that if we can get ourselves organized and know, and if, say by Sunday, that we are having a meeting, we can get a minutes person.
Oh, okay.
It's in our budget, or it's paid for.
Moving forward, yes.
Yes, we've been told over and over again, we can get, but we can't go willy-nilly the day of and say, we don't have a quorum, we're not gonna have a meeting. We have to know Sunday,
That's fair.
do
Yep.
we have a meeting?
I mean, Deb Hogenkamp, she does the selectmen meetings, and she's already on payroll. Maybe we can use her on Tuesday.
But
nights.
I'm sure we can, I mean, they've said we can do it, it's just, here we are today, who's coming?
I know, I wasn't sure until you guys all started responding if we were gonna have anything today, so.
It's always on my calendar. And yeah, things definitely come up, but we have 7 of us now,
Yeah, Keith,
Yes,
There's 3 that are missing.
Yeah, 7.
yeah.
so that's, I mean, we should be able to get a quorum. And I think we're only allotted 7, right? I don't think we can, can we
No,
even
you
have
could've-
any room for another one?
No more than
We've
7.
maxed out right
Yeah.
now. Okay.
7 members?
7 members.
We have 6 members.
6 members and 1 alternate?
Yeah, yeah, but you can't go above 7,
Okay,
from what I,
with the
Well, we
alternate.
can. We can have. I thought we could have like 2 or 3 alternates.
well, again, I just texted, I emailed,
If we can get the
Troy.
bylaws.
yeah, sent her my bylaws and, you know.
How many can we have?
I mean, I mean, in that case, do we add more if we can?
I think we are always open to adding more.
And I think that the idea is to have a
Um,
member from each sport on the rec board. You know, right now, we have soccer, lacrosse, I'm giving them both, softball and baseball. And
Pickleball.
pickleball, there you go, you were a rep of pickleball. Do you play?
I'll take it.
I don't know.
Yeah, go someday.
Have you been?
No, no.
Listen, aren't you a day early for your Mardi Gras around?
Today's
Oh, it's Fat Tuesday.
Oh, it's Fat Tuesday.
Today's Fat Tuesday. Yeah?
I'm thinking, I've got Ash Wednesday on my mind, yes. You're right, Fat Tuesday, you're right.
I get used to seeing everybody walking around with that tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, yeah.
Right.
So, let's hope.
Is there
we
anything
get
else?
Some roles and responsibilities moving forward, because, yeah.
Sounds good.
And we'll soon be getting, not that this isn't a busy time, but we're gonna get busier with all the spring sports that start kicking in. And
No,
different
like, get into softball scheduling of the fields and
baseball, and
people
you
on
guys should
fields
be
for this and that, yeah.
opening this year, right?
I don't know, we'll see what the grass is doing once the snow melts, yeah. It might
So
be,
yeah, so membership can be 7 members, full voting, 7 members.
oh, okay.
Okay. So then Peter is a member.
I
And we
don't.
don't
I
have
don't know if Peter's a member or not.
I'm an alternate,
You are still an alternate?
officially. Yeah.
So, but I went back to where this whole thing came back up again,
Nobody knows, you're probably a real member for all we know, until we get the bylaws, right?
and Troy said that full voting membership is 7 members, excluding the Board of Selectmen rep.
Oh.
So basically, we have 7
Short,
plus 1
yeah.
plus alternates. I think
No,
we
no,
might-
you're short, because I'm not supposed to be included.
right. So we're actually short a member.
You're short one, yeah.
But I mean, we're up to that many, is what I'm saying. So yeah, so Peter should be
A member.
full at this point. Because I'm trying to read, because he said that if Sandy was reappointed, it would bring the full voting members to 7.
but this was before. I think this is before Kurt was elected and then appointed. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because they had to resign and then re-sign.
Right. So there's definitely an extra one. We definitely have another full,
Okay.
at least one, and if Sandy did resign, then we have two.
That's
So
right.
Peter should definitely be one of them.
Okay.
Of course, I don't know what the whole standing is if you come in as an alternate. Because you
No,
might
'cause
came
that
in
was-
as an alternate. Do
'cause
you
either-
do you have to wait till the next period to be
I
assigned, reappointed, which apparently is in March or April?
At least we're figuring it out now. It's not that far away.
don't. Right.
But he was quoting the RSA. He was quoting the
Mm-hmm.
thing, so he must have a copy of it somewhere.
You were able to find that? Did
My
you?
email. It was just an email he sent last March.
Last
Oh, last
month.
March.
Yes,
okay.
Troy sent from. I remember it was sent from Troy, so it makes it a lot easier when
Yeah.
searching. But yeah,
Oh, reappointments. Yep.
Yeah, if I type in Troy, I'm gonna get 771 emails.
I only remember that because I remember that whole that email coming out originally. So I went back and looked.
Yes, we never got. So she said, yeah, he says if Mrs. Vance is reappointed, then that will bring the full voting membership up to 7. And we never knew if what
I
Sandy's
don't
done.
know. I don't know the answer.
Right.
I don't think so. I think she did not, but
I don't know either.
so something else for the next meeting.
So many items. So many items. All right. Do we have any other discussions? Any other? So the next meeting is on the calendar for February 27th.
Correct.
I cannot guarantee. I'm not sure if will be here, but I will certainly let us know before that Tuesday. I will definitely let us know.
I'll be here.
It's. I'm taking a few days
If
off.
you're going to send out an agenda, Wednesday, Thursday, the previous week, and then that say if you're not going to make it, let us know.
Yeah.
We should. You mean that's a couple days ahead of time. So
Yep. We can do. I will do so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
All right.
if there's no other discussions, we will
Make a motion to
motion to adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned at 8:33.
We've been out here